So I'm going to open this door right here so they can all be together, and I'll feed them hay and water in here tonight. And they're going to the butcher shop tomorrow. There we go. Yeah. So here's all 5 that are going to the butcher shop. And what I was doing was I'd get a hold of one because I didn't want to come up here and I didn't have a working chute with the current setup. And then I just stuff them behind this door, close it, grab another one. So I'm gonna put them all together and feed them hay. And excuse me, I'm out of breath from chasing that last one. He gave me a good chase. And we'll feed them hay and water in here, and tomorrow morning they're going to the butcher shop down the road. So they're a nice set of nice set of wethers, but it's kind of interesting. Look at the size difference, because he's going. So I missed one of his testicles when I ringed him. Look how much bigger he is than some of the guys who got ringed properly. So it's really interesting. Anyway, I guess you live and learn along the way. I don't know if you can see out there, but we had a nice warm spell. All that snow we had melted off, and it's like 40 degrees today, and then we're going to get more snow tomorrow, and it's going to drop back down, and I think it'll stay properly winter at that point. But I'll add this on, and then I'll take some more video when we go to the butcher shop and of them dropping off, and away we go. All right, have a good day. Well, what a difference a day makes. The previous video was, you can always tell when weather's coming in, because I mean, the wind was just whipping across the countryside. So we woke up and we have ourselves a pretty sizable snow coming today. It's supposed to snow for about 10 or 12 hours today. So it should make it fun again to get across the farm. And I left some fencing stuff out in my little trailer that I wish I had put away. I'll have to do that before long. But I'm gonna check on these guys, see how we're doing. Well, they managed to shit in their water, so let's get them some new water. Even though they're going to the butcher in about an hour and a half, we don't want them. I don't know what you want to call it. This is hard to do one-handed. Take care of them the way they ought to be taken care of all the way to the end. So anyhow, I'm gonna do my morning chores, and then we'll film taking them to the butcher. And this is a new butcher for me. He's been in the area for a long time, and I'm interested to see how he does. But all right. So I kind of got in an all-fired hurry and forgot to take some video, but I've kind of figured out what I got to do with this bale unroller that I put together. This is just a fiberglass rod and a big chain, and if I need to turn, it just has to be in like wide sweeping turns. If I try to turn tight, it binds up and flips over, and it's not good. But this is how much hay they're getting today. That hay on the back of the four-wheeler I'm going to give to the butcher lambs, even though they're going to be dead in 2 hours. And I thought about why, and part of it's for me. I want to see any animal off my farm in the best way possible, regardless of its purpose or destination. And the other thing too is I am a believer that the more you can lower stress in an animal, the better it tastes. I'm sure there's some facts out there about that. That has just simply been my eating experience. But you can see these animals aren't stressed at all. It's about 20 degrees, and we got some, I don't know if you can see, it's there, maybe against the trees you can see. We're gonna have this kind of light driving pellety snow all day today. And but if you look at their backs, this is kind of one of the things I look for, is the snow staying unmelted. And that means that they have enough insulation in their fat and their fur that their body heat isn't escaping out the top of their body. And here, this dark brown one's a good example because you can see it better. I mean, yep. So this is about, this is probably a little more hay than I'd like to give them, but I mean, for what it costs, I'll give them 10% more hay than, you know, I'm not going to super tightly ration them. And it's not that big of a deal. But the cows are all happy and fat. These ewes are doing well. The rams are kind of in a bad mood because I took 5 of their buddies and it's just the 2 of them and the 3 dogs. So they got to hang out down there for another 2 weeks or so. And then we will bring them up here. I think in 2 weeks' time, let me think about it. There's 3 more bales up there. So that's a week. So we'll be somewhere on the back of the side of this hill. Maybe, I don't know if you can see, there's a bale just peeking over the hill there. We'll be in there somewhere. So we're going to give them a lot of space because they got to get used to the dogs. And these ewes haven't had the new pups in with them since August. So now they're a lot bigger now. They're not exactly going to get bullied around by mama ewes. The ewes have lost their mothering instinct too. Like, you know, if you fuss around with a lamb up to a certain size, the mom's going to follow you around, and you can pretty much get that ewe to go anywhere you like by grabbing a hold of its offspring. And that's all gone. But yeah, this is just, I think, November in Minnesota. You know, we got 4 inches. It melted off. We had some 40, 50 degree days, and then it shot back down to the 20s. And now we have a whole day. It's going to snow all day today. And I don't know. I like the way, you know, we really ended up, I will call it luck or good grace or whatever, because we didn't know what we were really doing when we bought this place. But the rolling hills and the size that we were able to get for the money, and I mean, look at it. It's just beautiful. So these woods up here are not mine. About halfway up the hill, that 5 acres was originally part of our farm, and the people before sold it to the folks who built that house up there. And they're pretty nice. They keep to themselves a little bit, but we've met them a bunch of times, and they're nice. I even had a steer run up there one time, and they didn't give us a hard time about it. But well, I'm gonna go finish my chores, and then we're off to the butcher shop. All right, bye. Well, we just got done with about a 24-hour snowstorm. There's probably about 6 inches of snow on the ground after the 4 that had melted off last week, and probably the biggest difference was we had about 30 or 40 mile an hour wind. It's pretty peaceful up here because all these trees are blocking a good portion of the wind, but when I go down by the house where the highway is, it's blustery. So I just wanted to come up early. Normally I do my chores a little later, but I just wanted to check on these ewes, and I thought they'd be okay. See, they're getting themselves a drink right now. Winter watering is a little different in the sense that I'll usually just fill up 1 tank twice a day, so I don't have to chop so much ice. Last year when I wintered them up by the house, I ran an extension cord and had a tank heater in it, but that's not possible with Bale grazing out in the farthest field from the home. You know, I have to figure out a long-term solution. I'm not sure what I'll do. I just can't see monetizing and economizing for underground pipe everywhere. But everyone looks like they're in fine fettle. One of the things I always check is, do they have snow unmelted on their backs to make sure that they have enough fat and fur? And it looks like we're doing well. All right, I gotta shut this water off. Got a little extra water in the tank. I'm gonna fill up the this other tank and just use it up. Best purchase I ever made was this Honda. Hang on. No more farting around with stuff that didn't want to work in the winter. It just goes, and I went through some snow drifts to get up here that were about as deep as the axles on it, and it just just churned right through it. But it's very bright, so I'm sorry. I realized I wasn't getting things in the shot, but I came out and here I'm gonna come from this side so you guys can see it. The sun's a little bright, but I fed them a strip of hay. You can kind of see it maybe if I turn around where the sun's not glaring. Fed them a strip of hay from here all the way up to there, and then last night I was just a little I don't want them to be deprived when they're running on just hay. So you can say they cleaned all this up really tight, and that made me think they didn't get enough, you know, as I'm continuing to learn how to size. Hey 14. Yeah, you're a good girl. But we're gonna feed hay up the hill because you can see where they made their campsite. But the bale unrolling, this is a perfect example of why I like this. If I just had a bale ring out here, or I was just bale grazing, well, if I was just bale grazing, the waste would be too high because I can't eat a bale. They eat a bale about every 3 days or so. But they can't. This is after 1 day. So imagine if they camped up around that bale for 3 days. It'd be too much manure in one spot. So I'm going to unroll up into this area. They kind of graze that down. I let them graze stockpile the first day before I gave them hay. But they'll make their campsite up there now. I'm hoping anyway. I guess I don't know for sure. But no stress on these animals. They're looking good. That's a nice looking steer. He's even starting to get a little hump on his neck. His gut's full. I bet you guys are ready for some hay. Anyway, I'll cut. I didn't take too much footage at the butcher's like I was hoping. The snow was just coming too flipping hard, and it was windy, and the guy was, you know, he wasn't impatient. He was just busy, and so I just wanted to hurry up and not make him wait for me to take film and be a doofus that way. So anyway, I'm gonna unroll some hay and we'll take some more footage. All right, that was some work. So this is about what I'm estimating they're gonna need to eat today. It kind of goes from there all the way up to there, and I left about that much of the bale. We'll feed that tomorrow. But I know this collection of videos was a bit of a mismatch, but the weather really caught us here by surprise in the sense that we knew we were going to catch a little snow, but we didn't think it was going to be like it was. Even my 1-ton truck was struggling down the dirt road to the butcher shop, you know, and I was really impressed with that shop because it looked like it was just a family operation, and it was really clean, and they asked a lot of questions about how I wanted it, and you know, they just took some time even though they were busy. And I think I'm gonna just use them for my business for like when I sell whole lamb, like butcher lambs, because then we can use custom butchers. And how do I say it? Like, it kind of goes back to that issue of food security and food prices. My customers, even though I'm taking a good rate that I'm happy with to make money, are gonna pay less for this lamb than some people are for beef. Because they have a connection with the local farmer, me, and I have a connection with the local butcher, and everyone's trying to make a living, but not trying to get every last nickel and dime. And there's no middlemen. I guess I'm the middleman in the sense between the customer and the butcher, in that I arrange it. But you know, good food is worth its price, and I just, for all of you out there, you know, I was talking to one of the guys that I was selling these lambs to arrange a pickup, and he said, I got a beef guy, and now I got a lamb guy, that's me, He said, all I need is a pig and a chicken guy. And I said, I happen to know pig and chicken guys. And he was just delighted because now he feels like no matter what, he can get food. And it's as a producer, it's a good feeling to know I have somebody who's always going to take my business, or give me his business, I should say. And so it's just another plug out there. It's really not much more money if you think about it. It's you can be sure about the quality, and you can be sure in the security that you can always have food in your freezer. And the same fella told me he actually went out and bought another deep freeze because he's kind of going all in on trying to store a year's worth of meat for his family between chicken, pork, and lamb and beef. So anyway, sorry this was a bit of a discombobulated video. Took course over a couple of days. The weather's finally clearing. You can see the blue skies we have and the swift sunrise in Minnesota. I love standing at this is almost the top of my farm. I can see in every direction, even through the trees. That right there is the top, but it's cold and windy and it can be shitty, but I love it. Anyway, have a good day.